Hi, welcome to this first live of mine for the RSCW. Thank you, Galana, for giving me this opportunity. And I'm really happy to be part of the Christmas market. And today I'm going to show you a simple cake, which usually most people love. And this is my cranberry Christmas cake. It's a very, very simple cake. It has very few ingredients. And let me quickly run you through some of the ingredients. Here I have eggs. Now in the recipe, I've said 3 large eggs, but because I didn't have large eggs today, I've used 4. I've got 2 cups of sugar. 2 cups of sugar seems like a lot of sugar, but because the cranberries are so very tart, you will need about that much. You can always reduce it to 1.5 cups of sugar, depending on your liking or your tolerance for sweetness. Okay, I have 2 cups of flour. I have 3/4 of a cup of butter. That's 150 grams of butter. I have some vanilla extract, and this is a Mexican vanilla extract. I have a little bit of salt, and I have 2 cups of cranberries, fresh cranberries here. Now, fresh cranberries are not very easy to find in Singapore. They usually come in the months of October, November, and December, just before Christmas. So when you find them, buy several, as many as you'd like, and pop them into your freezer, and they stay fine for several years. I have these little disposable baking tins from Food What. These make wonderful gifts to give away because it is rich and decadent cake, and so you would want to share with your friends. Okay, so shall we get started? If you guys have questions, please feel free to post them on the chat, and I will take a look at it later. Because this is shot from my phone, I don't have access to the questions that you asked, so I will answer them later. So I'm going to start to beat my eggs and my sugar. And if you have a doubt in your mind as to why there's no baking powder or baking soda in this recipe, there's no chemical leavening agent. That's because all I'm setting this aside here, and I'm going to add my sugar. Now I'm not going to add all that sugar. I'm not going to add 2 cups of sugar. I'm going to add something like 1.5 cups of sugar, and I'm going to start to beat. This step is really important because you're trying to build as much. You're going to aerate the egg foam as much as possible, so that you get all your leavening from the eggs. So let's get started. It is going to get a little noisy here, but bear with me. See the eggs starting to lighten and increase in volume, but please keep going. If you need to set a timer for about 4 to 5 minutes, do that because you really want a lot of volume in your eggs. This is not ready as yet, so I'm going to keep beating, but in the meantime I'm going to turn on my oven. Turn on your oven to 180 degrees and have it preheated while you put this cake together. beat it for a little longer so I can still feel that the sugar, I can still feel the crunch of the sugar on the bottom of the tin, and I want this to fall in ribbons. Come closer. You can see that the egg foam is really lightened in color and it's increased in volume. I'm going to beat for another minute or so and then start to add the other ingredients. Yeah, I'm happy with this now. I'm going to stop here and just quickly show you how I prepared my tins. I have sprayed this, or butter, you can even use butter to coat the bottoms and the sides, and then yeah, so I have everything ready because this cake comes together very fast once you've done the beating of the eggs. Now I'm adding my butter in here. This is 3/4 of a cup of butter, or 150 grams of butter. Once you add the fat to the eggs, your eggs will deflate a little, but that's fine, don't worry about it. I'm also going to add a bit of salt, because salt always elevates something sweet. And I'm going to add my vanilla extract. You can use a tablespoon, you can use a couple of tablespoons, it doesn't matter, or you can use a combination of vanilla and almond, it doesn't matter, it just elevates the taste of the cake. So I'm going to beat these together and then start to mix in the flour. So once this is mixed in, you start to add the flour I would add the flour in around 2 or 3 batches. And here I'm just trying to mix the lot so that it doesn't all fly up and powder my face. So this is mixed in. It is a thick batter, but the cranberries, as they cook, will let out their juices, and so it will not be a dry cake anymore. We've got that mixed in, and now for my third batch of flour. Once you add your flour to the batter, make sure that you don't beat for too long, because then you'll be developing the gluten in the batter. So let's get the blades out. And let me start mixing the cranberries in here. So add all my cranberries and give this a nice mix so that the cranberries are wonderfully mixed through the batter. You don't want them just on top. And because this is a thick batter, the cranberries won't just sink all the way down and settle in the bottom. So I have this mixed up, and now I'm going to start to put this into my prepared tins. Let me use the bigger spatula actually. So I fill my tins 3/4 full, and maybe give that a wrap just to settle the batter. And then I'm going to fill these. Friends will love you and really be happy to receive a beautifully wrapped cranberry loaf for Christmas, or even otherwise. You don't have to do it only during Christmas, but make a beeline for either Mustafa or cold storage and snap up all those bags of cranberries. I have a lot of recipes that I'm going to show you guys in time with cranberries. So that's the third, and I have a tiny bit of batter. Now if you have very little batter that's not going to fit in a whole tin like this, all you need to do is to put this into little cupcake tins and bake those alongside with this. And yesterday I baked these in these really pretty Christmassy disposable card tins, and this is what it looks like. I'm sure anyone receiving this will love it. And I have this that I baked, which I'm planning on cutting for you guys today. So what I'll do, I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of sugar on the top. Just a tiny bit of leftover sugar. I'm going to sprinkle on top so that the sugar makes a very crackly, crumbly top for people to enjoy. Yeah. So you don't really need to use the entire 2 cups of sugar. I'm going to flip this around and show you the top. And I'm going to cut myself a piece and show you how beautiful it looks, studded with red cranberries. And as it cooks, the cranberries burst on the inside. Yes, I did not cut the cranberries. I didn't bother to remove the seeds because the seeds are so tiny that it really doesn't matter. And here we have our cranberry Christmas cake. I'm going to cut myself a piece. And you can see with absolutely no leavening, no chemical leavening agent, it has risen beautifully. The cranberries are wonderfully dark. Cranberries have a lot of antioxidants. We are almost a health food, so enjoy making this. Either keep the entire batch for yourself or gift them away to your friends, and you'll be showered with a lot of love for them. Thank you. I really enjoyed doing my live for the RSCW. Thank you very much. And here is the cranberry Christmas cake. So, are we still going?